Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you guys. Bunch of you already in the chat. Always nice to see. Even though we have a bunch of other stuff going on while the stream is happening, especially the FOMC meeting that everyone um, is looking at nowadays. So if you want to have that on the second screen or something, it's fine by me. I don't mind. Before we start, shout out to FTX, the sponsor of the show. Really appreciate their support. Their links are in the description. If you want to check them out, you should. They have pretty much the best mobile app in crypto, I think. So that's worth checking out if you're at all interested in that. So yeah, with that out of the way, plenty to talk about. I mean, we have an hour. We'll manage. How are you guys doing? Everyone doing all right? Everyone catch this move from support to who knows where that's gonna go? We'll talk about it. Yeah, let me hear how you guys are doing. Once again, millions of investors are gathering to await the market's next move by virtue of what an unelected committee decides. They call this capitalism these days. Yeah, it is kind of wild, especially because it impacts global markets so much. But yeah, is what it is. It does impact us as well, so it's going to be interesting what they're going to say. We'll see some volatility on stream probably in the next hour or so. But I'd be surprised at surprises, basically. So, and as long as it's not a surprise, I think market should be somewhat okay with it. But yeah, we'll see. Bunch of people doing well, bunch of people getting shit on, as usual, I guess. So yeah, let's start with the show. This does not belong here. So I talked about this on Monday on Weekly Open. We actually hit monthly support, right? Monthly support is something that I look at pretty regularly. I mean, it's something that you open up once a month and then you're like, oh shit, we're near support, we're near resistance. Usually it works out quite well. People kind of tend to underestimate it, but pretty much one of the better high time frame kind of tools to use that barely anyone does use, but I do tend to follow it quite religiously. You can see how like the 6K support in here held nicely, and then we rallied off of there. We had a retest of 10K that held, and then we rallied off of there. So it's always nice to look at that chart, and I think in general these are the only kind of lines that you can draw right now on the monthly, right? So hit that support coming from the mid-range. I was pretty sure that was not going to do much, and that turned out to be correct. We can actually move that. Don't think it's too important. But yeah, coming from support, or like coming from resistance into support on the monthly, that's when you go through your charts, you look at the higher time frames first, and this is the first good sign, right? When you're trying to catch a knife, you want to have as much confidence as you can, right? So we headed into monthly support. That's a good sign. This is a chart that tells you you should be looking for buys, not for sells. And you look at the weekly time frame, and we can remove this real quick. And the same thing kind of happened there, headed into an area of previous support. And for me, that was already enough. I was pretty damn certain that we were going to bounce. That's why, I bought. And my lower time frame entry, while I don't want to go into like exactly all the reasons why I bought exactly at the low, my lower entry was basically based on the daily and some other stuff. So that's how I do it. I go from the monthly, weekly, daily. And then if everything agrees, there's a support and sentiment just goes hilariously bearish, I usually try to take a stab at it. And yeah, got quite lucky with the entry. I wasn't quite sure. Like I didn't think I would catch the bottom to this extent. So for the people that don't know, I bought basically in here. and that was quite nice. And now we're moving up, right? So the question is the final bottom in of this kind of correction that we've had? Because we went from 70K all the way down to 30K, 33-ish. And a lot of people are talking about a bear market now. And I'm not necessarily in that camp. Like, I don't think we have to have a bear market. I think we're gonna range in general, right? So 30 to 60K range, that's what I'm looking at, roughly this. If you have to like use lines, this kind of range. And I think we're gonna go ping pong in between there somewhat. That said, this support at 30K that I've been buying, right, is nearing the end of its usefulness, in my opinion. So why is that? For the people that have been kind of hanging around for a while, they know, but it's because this has been tested too many times, right? So this is the area that led to this bounce, the same area led to this bounce. So the more often this happens, the weaker the support gets. It's kind of the same that we've had at 6K, right? And a bunch of people, basically what they've done is they've said, okay, below 30K is 6K and I'm gonna buy 30K only, right? But that doesn't have to be like, look at this, for example. We had 6K here and then we front ran it and had a really big rally, right? And I think this could play out the same way, and everyone that's been sitting on the sidelines waiting just for 10% further drop is just gonna sit there missing out on the entire fun. And what usually happens when you miss out on these kind of moves is you buy the top, right? So I think a bunch of people that missed out are going to be made to buy the top by this price action. And that means I think we're gonna go higher. That's why I'm still holding. Could be wrong on that front. In general, I think we're going to break 30K eventually. But I don't think it's quite time yet. I think we could easily bounce to 40, 46, 48, somewhere in here. And then still go and test like 27, 28. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a rally between 43 and 46 for me to sell. That's my position, right? I bought spot from 33, looking to sell it into 45. And I think that would wreck a lot of people, especially because a bunch of people think that if we go back above 40K, it's bull market back on. Which I don't subscribe to either. I think best case scenario is a range for everyone in the market. Worst case scenario is just a bear market. And that is, I think, more reasonable than expecting a bull market. So that's my high time frame view. And it's kind of funny being, in general, like leaning bearish macro, but still buying the support and then seeing everyone freak out because whatever, everyone's suddenly traditional markets kind of expert and they don't buy supports anymore because why would you? It's just baffling to me. The fuck is this pump on the lower time frames? I mean, could be something that's said at FOMC. I have no idea. I'm not watching it on a second monitor because I cannot concentrate that well. Like, do two things at once, impossible. But yeah, I don't know. It's really nice to kind of have a position again. Last time I had a position was basically when we retested 60K, right? So we crashed and I got rid of my BTC and now got to get that back almost 50% cheaper. So that's nice, right? It's always nice to kind of sell something, see it go down 50% and then rebuying and then seeing it bounce big time. I mean, can't complain about that one. Exactly what I'm looking for, which is what makes me scared, feels too obvious now. I mean, it might seem obvious to you, but one, you need balls to kind of play that. And two, it's gonna feel much, much less obvious when we're at 44, 46. Because the chart's gonna look good, right? Let's say this rallies towards like 44, 46. How good would this chart look? The answer is really, really good, right? And then people would try to buy 40K, which I think could easily work out, but I think it would fizzle out in the end. And I mean, if it's bullish, right? And I don't think that's like a 0% possibility. If we play out this way, I think we could make a higher low somewhere in the 38K region. So that's the safe entry. It's just you might be buying and then it just completely vanishes. So like if you buy 38 or something, like if it does go up and you buy 38, you would want to have a tight stop, because if it does go back below 32, it's completely fucked. And the funny thing is, so many people are now sitting there with bids at 30K being like, okay, I just need one more dip to get back in. But I think if this fizzles out and goes to 30K, we go to 20K immediately and then have fun sitting in that position. It's like you're either right and it goes back down, but then you're hilariously wrong, or you're just completely wrong and it doesn't go down and you're fucked. So both cases, you're fucked. I think bids at 30K, pretty much the worst thing you can do. In this kind of situation. And I had so many people kind of try to challenge my view at 33, being like, okay, you need to wait for this and that. And I think it's stupid. It doesn't really make much sense. Like if you see the market being like overextending into support and you don't buy it, and then you try to buy it when it crashes through that support, I don't get it. Rally into 50K unreasonable? I think so, yeah. I think 50K is way too far-fetched, but I could be wrong on that front. So yeah, I'm short-term bullish, mid-term bearish, long-term just think this ranges. But yeah, if it goes close to like 30K again in the next week or two, I think we're gonna have a massive wipeout, which you would not want to be bidding at all. If we do like get a range towards, like, let's say this goes like this and then starts meandering back downwards, then maybe we get a wick and come back up. But if we do, like, how hilariously bearish is this chart? Like, why would you want to be buying this? At that point, I don't get it. At that point, you might wait for strength, right? Because if you're betting on the breakdown, might as well wait for the reclaim of that breakdown. But I don't think that. I think at that point we would just do this and then go back to 20K. So for me, like most of the stances I see on Twitter and pretty much everywhere and in my comments just make no sense. Don, how low do you think we could go, bear market or not? I mean, it depends on the traditional markets, right? We could go, I think the lowest I could see this go is 14K. And I don't think that's reasonable. But I could see if the traditional markets fuck off, we're going to go straight along with it. Then I'd be buying 14K. It's monthly support. It's basically the fact of the matter is, right, for me anyway, this is basically the last support that we have, and we've tested it now. So if we break it, the next high time frame place to bid. And I mean, I told you at 59K that you should be targeting 30, right? And I'm telling you, if we break this monthly support, just according to the chart, you should be targeting 14K, right? That doesn't have to mean that that's gonna play out ever, right? 14K is so far away that, I mean, I think it's unreasonable to target that low. But yeah, this is support 36K, and then next support 14K. I don't really care too much about the 20K support. I think we would undercut that if we go there, other than a wick, right? If we wick to 20K and then could go back up, that's fine by me. But any consolidation anywhere close to that would not make me too excited. So yeah, that's that. I don't know. I think this kind of bet that I took at 33 was pretty obvious. I in general think that. Now it's less obvious because we're actually getting into resistance, right? If this is just a bear market bounce before we completely break down, then it's really, really bearish at that point, right? If it rolls over here, we truly have a big problem. And I think your 30K bids won't help you whatsoever. So either you're already bullish and in longs, or I think you should be targeting like at least 25, if not lower, because I don't think anything else makes sense. And for that reason, I'm so far holding, but today it's gonna be volatile as fuck. And a bunch of people of you have already been freaking out. I see it in the chat. The thing is, when you have news days, people tend to not bid too much, or like have asks and bid, and in general, like everyone's on edge. So you get this like low time frame shenanigans, left, right, center. It's something if you're in a position, in a high time frame position, you ignore. If you're in low time frame positions, you should close those low time frame positions going into these kind of news, unless you have an edge in that kind of trading. But usually most people don't. When will ETH follow? ETH BTC actually looks really trash to me. It's been rallying a little bit, but the problem is, you can see like my original target was actually 0.084, like this exact line. And I remember being made fun of on Twitter for like just saying, okay, if it breaks out, that's where you want to sell. Because people said that this is too small a target. The funny thing is, I called it right, but I didn't trade it right because I actually kept my ETH. Put it into NFTs, whole different story. That's been fun, honestly. NFT markets haven't really been in a bear market at all. They've just been trading really fun. But yeah, so called it right, traded it wrong, in a sense, given I still am exposed to ETH via NFTs. But yeah, the fact that we got rejected by resistance and then broke back below the breakout level just makes me not too excited about ETH. Now it could go back up, right? And at that point it gets really, really interesting again. And I mean, I'd be happy because my NFTs would probably go up in USD if that happened. But I'm right now not really excited. So for the question, when does ETH follow? No idea. I think it's weaker than Bitcoin, so might as well take the Bitcoin trade. And ETH USD is actually the one thing that makes me worry, because I think that looks like we want to at least go to 2K. But yeah, that's just something we have to deal with. This is a really ugly chart, especially ugly if you turn off log. I mean, Bitcoin isn't much better, right? It's just, it's at support, so might as well bid it. And so far that's been working. Nuke incoming. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's going to be volatile today. Could go up 5-10% easily. If you're not made out for that, you shouldn't be trading during global announcements. Lower time frame pump already retraced. I'm expecting a lot of this kind of stuff to happen. Like you could see this exact. The funny thing is, like, this looks improbable, but you could see exactly like something like this happen, and it's just how markets trade during these announcements. This shouldn't make any of your ideas impact any of your ideas, unless they're like super low time frame ones. But yeah, I mean, in general, I expect the markets to be boring. So if you're not kind of into this trading style where you kind of make 10%, 20, because my target is like mid 40s, right? So that would be like a 20, 30% gain. If you're not into that, if you don't like kind of trading for these like smaller percentages, you just want to have it easy, I think you just want to wait a year and then come back when the market in general looks better. That's kind of my honest opinion. Like, most people just shouldn't be trading. I've seen a bunch of people try to make it back, and I don't think that's the way to go. You're just going to lose more money and set yourself further behind. Like, if you've been losing money and you're trying to make that money back, you're going to lose more money. I promise you that. Easy Play was longing the move contract on FTX this morning. Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting it to have been priced in a little bit, but yeah. what to do if not trading though. Like, I mean, if you have a traditional job, concentrate on that. If you have family, do something with your family, enjoy the time, right? I've been traveling a lot because you rarely get time off in crypto land, right? And right now you're getting it. Unless you're trading NFTs, right? If your main focus is NFTs, I think this is still like a hot period that you don't want to miss out on. But everything else, like all the coins and Bitcoin, just not too tragic if you're missing, I think, the next few months. You could come back to 50K, right? But the thing is, if this meanders back upwards and you buy 50K and it goes to 100, who the fuck cares about like missing 40 to 50K? Because let's say you buy 40K, could you hold on if it goes to 25? Probably not. Yeah, like I've seen enough people capitulate on these positions and then it goes up and you're out of the market for good. And then this guy comes back at 50K and just smashes the market buy and then takes it to 100K, easy double, and is completely euphoric. While the guy that has been in the market just sits there, had like a lower buy, but still got fucked in the end. So yeah, there's something to be said about just chilling right now. Quit my job at the cycle top. I hate to hear it, my friend. Hate to hear it. Don't trade. What's the point of living? I mean, I like these kind of conditions because what you basically do, and I mean, this sounds stupid and simple, but it's true. This is how I trade these markets when they kind of turn PvP. Is I map out high time frame supports, 14K, 30K, or like in this case 35-ish, 60K resistance, and then the same thing on the weekly, and then I wait till sentiment turns hilariously bearish into these high time frame supports, and then I just smash the market buy, or I wait for sentiment to turn hilariously bullish into high time frame resistance, and then smash the sell button, and then that's it. It's all you have to do, but I've learned way too difficult for most. I have no idea why. For me, I mean, these kind of market conditions, they don't come around as often as you'd think. But for me, those are kind of the most simple times. So yeah, I don't mind them too much. But I don't trade much during these times either, right? You get like 2 or 3 trading opportunities, like proper trading opportunities a year. That's fine. Why DCA in a downtrend? I'm not telling you to DCA. DCA is in general a shitty investment strategy unless you're just a weak-handed person that would sell otherwise. Because on average, if you just buy, like if you just put all the money you want to put in at once, on average, and there's been studies about this, you make more money. The only kind of caveat to that is that if you put in all your money and it goes down, like the market goes down 30%, you're going to freak out, right? If you put in a little bit of your money and then DCA the entire time, it's a different story, right? You might actually be excited about it going down. But on average, it's a worse strategy. You're just going to be buying up. So DCA, not my kind of cup of tea. But if you have problems with holding stuff that you want to be holding, it's a good strategy. It depends on you. So yeah, for me, if I want to buy, I look at this, I see Bitcoin at 33K support, and I just buy as much as I wanted to. And if I DCA and I'm still buying at 38K, I would actually feel like really, really bad, because you just ruin your average. And then for like trading style, it's just even worse. For investment style, it's not perfect. For trading, it's one of the worst things you can do, in my opinion. So yeah, that's that. Pretty straightforward, honestly. We had weekly and monthly support, bounce, please, and then yeah, we can target resistance, which is basically 42. If it doesn't even get there, right, and it starts rolling over, which I think is a possibility given how weak all the markets are, and given that this is the third test of the same support, then I'm not going to be buying any close support. Like I said, like my big bids are going to be either, and this is the wrong one, it's going to be even lower than that, either at 14K or a massive liquidation cascade. And then I don't really care which level it hits, right? If we get like a day where it goes down 40%, no matter what kind of day that is, I'm going to buy that day. So let's say we go down 40% tomorrow, which I really don't think, but let's say we do. I would be buying in that area, no problem, no question asked. Even though I said 20K support isn't the best support, I would 100% buy that. And the same is true if we do that from 43 and go down 40%, then I buy 25, right? I don't mind that at that point if we get like a liquidation day, but if this just rolls over, I'm not the guy to buy 28K. I find that a weird way to trade. Waiting on that short squeeze for today. I would like to see that too. The thing that I pointed out earlier is actually like playing this hilarious low time frame action. I told you it would get hilarious. It is getting hilarious. Is what it is. Don, how did you time the bottom on low time frame? I don't want to talk about it. But there's some stuff that you can look at. If you want to kind of have like a hint to like a bunch of stuff that I was looking at, you just have to look at all the Bitcoin exchanges and the differences on those. And I mean, I'm not gonna say more than that. But yeah, high time frame support worked out wonders, and the low time frame entry being as good as it was is just an added bonus. It wouldn't have really mattered. Like I nailed the bottom of the bottom, but I mean, it wouldn't have really mattered too much, even if I just bought like $500 higher, right? Because it's a higher time frame play. Can we still visit 30K level? I mean, I'm gonna get that question a million times. Yes, but if we do, I think it's a shit buy. You don't want to be buying 30K. It's the last place I would want to be buying. So yeah. Turn the money printer back on. Don't reduce the balance sheet. The hilarious part is, right? We don't like the money printing, but now that we're all invested in Bitcoin, everyone's like, turn the money printer back on, which is so hypocritical, I think. I'm glad when actually, like, when they turn it off and the world is turning back sane, even if that would reduce Bitcoin price. It's a shitty attitude. You hope for something bad to happen just because you want your money to go up. I think that's not the way we want to be in this space. I mean, the stock market guys are the same, right? It's not like this is just a crypto thing, but I think it's a shitty attitude to have. Nice bottom call, Pog. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Hope you've been okay, Alex. Hey Dawn, I caught the bottom, sold at 38K resistance. I would like to get back in at some point for the play to mid 40K. Any decent setup to look for? You sold 38K. I mean, that's the problem, right? I mean, you could hope for whipsaw today, bid 36.6. I think that's the best you could get. Like if today turns out to be crazy, if it's actually bullish, it should not go much lower than 36.6. So like you sold 38 and you bid 36, or yeah, I think somewhere in here, and it wicks immediately back up, you're good. If it doesn't, if it stays down there, it's probably fucked, and we're probably gonna roll over completely. But yeah, for me personally, I just hope it keeps on going and doesn't let you in. Not because I don't want you in, but because that would be the move that would make most sense to me if we're bullish, right? Because if we're bearish, the move would be to kind of break 36.6 to 36K support, so this area. And I would hope that it doesn't do that because I obviously have a position. Scalping strategy in this current market, I mean, I'm not the guy to ask for that. I'm not even trading the lower time frames anymore. Especially in these kind of circumstances, I don't really mind too much. What you can do, you look at the high time frames, right? And then you just take trades on the low time frames based on that. So you see liquidations going into high time frame structure, or both ways. You can trade those, but I'm not the guy to ask. Hey Dawn, where would you cut the position if it reverses? Probably if we start losing the support. So I bought down here. If we start like rolling over and then start closing below 36, I'd probably start getting out. And that could be a bottom thing. Like I get out at the bottom, but it's not necessarily like I'm not targeting much, right? I'm targeting a 30% move to the upside, and I'm not willing to sit through like a complete rollover. I was willing to down here, right? And this is something like I thought the chances of it completely rolling over at 33K were very, very tiny. But if it rolled over completely, I wouldn't have sold. I would have just doubled up somewhere lower, right? Because at that point, we're already low. We're already crashing 20%. So if it crashed another 20% down there, I would have just doubled up and then seen if we get to 40K and then got rid of the position there. Now that we've actually gone up already, I'm not willing to sit through that nuke. So 36K-ish is the area where I am not willing to hold the position anymore. NFTs are gambles, not trades. I mean, whatever makes you feel good, my friend. I think NFTs, fundamental-wise, most of them are shit, but it's the best trade in the market, full stop. Right now, anyway. I think they're probably going to be more popular than any of the coin shit that we've been trading. NFTs are investments, the worst investment in the world, my friend. But yeah, I think both sides are stupid on that front. I think the NFT haters, especially if you're a trader, I think you're just completely delusional, ignoring a market like that. And I think you're also illusional if you're seriously investing in NFTs. So I think both sides are broken. What NFTs should we look into? I'm not gonna shill any NFTs. I'm not here to shill low market cap stuff. I've never shilled the coins like the low market cap coins that I've owned because I feel like it's wrong. And I'm not going to start it with NFTs. Because if you think about it, NFTs are quite low on the market cap. I mean, they're high for just being JPEGs. But if you add them all up and then an NFT has like a 30 million market cap, I could easily influence that. And I'm not willing to. So you have to look into that yourself. There's a bunch of people that you can, or like a bunch of resources that you can go to. So sorry about that. But yeah. Hilarious price action still going on the low time frames. It's gonna be an impactful day, and it's gonna be obvious in hindsight where this is gonna go, right? How it always is. So yeah, ETH, meh. I think in general, if you get 3K, which is almost 20% away from here, that's a really good place to sell. And funnily enough, if Bitcoin goes up like 15 to 20%, that's exactly where I want to sell. So there's some confluence there. So I hope that, like, I'm probably not going to sell my ETH again. I think in general, and I mean, I've had a bearish setup for ETH ever since we broke 4K, right? Ever since 3.8K basically on that weekly close. Wish I could have hedged that, but it is what it is. I still think you should be bearish on ETH USD. Just bearish at 3K is much better than at 2. good NFT resources. You can go and check out Moon Overlord on Twitter. He has a Discord that is decent for info. What you should do is basically you look at Twitter, you see kind of like art or any kind of NFT projects that you like, and you just join the Discord and then get chatting. And at that point, like if people like you or if you don't act like a complete moron, people are going to talk to you, and then you can kind of learn what's up and learn the ropes that way. It's the best way, in my opinion, to learn and to get into it. They're going to give you shitty advice most of the time. So what you have to do is still use your brain and not use too much money at the beginning, obviously. But just basically throw yourself in the deep end and then don't risk too much. Did you say where to sell his recent buys? Yes, I did. I'm looking for 40 to 45K. Not entirely sure if I'm gonna get it, but so far so good. What's your ETH bear target? I mean, if we go sub 30K on Bitcoin, I think ETH goes sub 2, if not like at that point, if Bitcoin goes below 30K, I think you want to be trying to snipe wicks below 1K on ETH. But that's still a little bit off. Right now, like 1.9, 2K is an area that you want to be buying. But long term, if you get like a deep wick, sub 1K would be like a really good buy, I think. But I mean, I'm not targeting 1K, right? And I still have a bunch of ETH and NFTs. So I think this could take a while. And I think ETH could, if all goes good, I think ETH could range between 2 and 4K as well. Just like Bitcoin is ranging between 60 and 30, ETH could range between 4 and 2. Where's lowest monthly support? I don't look at monthly too much, but 1K, 1.1K, like on the ETH chart, I don't look at the monthly too much. But it's also at support, which I actually noted when we're getting there. But yeah. Do you think Sol will drop to 40? Like all these bear-hearted targets, I have no idea if they're gonna hit, my friends. I have no crystal ball. What you have to kind of know, right? If Bitcoin drops to 30, like below 30K, I think there's a good chance any of your bear targets are gonna hit on all of this stuff. So for example, Sol, if Bitcoin goes below 30K, is it gonna go to this monthly support down at 30? I think so, probably. Yeah, good chance. I target 0 apparently. I don't know when I drew this, but so far it's been accurate. But I'm not that bearish. I don't think so. Solana is going to 0, but it does look like it's went through its cycle, right? I'm not too excited to buy this at any point, really. I'd much rather buy other stuff right now. And I mean, funnily enough, the other stuff is Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin's been looking better. There's a bunch of other layer ones that look better. I mean, I have a little bit of Atom that I bought. It's not doing too well, to be fair. Like I bought during the dump, and it's basically, I mean, I'm up in USD, but it's not up against Bitcoin. So yeah, that's that. It's just been, the altcoins have not been following this move, which is a nice thing to see. I think the moment you see the altcoins tick up, you want to be on guard heavily. So yeah, you want to be looking for the altcoins. Like if you see trash, like especially the bad retail trash pump, I think it's pretty much close to where it's gonna turn around again. But until then, until the altcoins look like this, we at least don't have froth in the market, right? And froth, I mean, we're not gonna get retail too excited, even if we just go back to 40, 46, 50K. But you can also have crypto internal froth, where the people that been sitting in this market just put their last money in, and that usually happens when Bitcoin hits resistance. Like, let's say my plan plays out and we go to 40-ish K. At that point, people are starting to think that we're out of the woods, and then they invest into altcoins again. And that would be an excellent kind of liquidity trap to move lower. Doesn't have to happen, but for me, if we go to 40, 44, 45, and then altcoins start lifting off, I'm going to sell everything. Besides maybe NFTs, because that's been a different market, and then just wait for supports to break again. You leverage buy or spot? Just spot. What software do you use to draw on your screen? I mean, this is just on TradingView. I don't use special software. Tread uses special software, but I don't know what's called. But most altcoins are up versus Bitcoin. I mean, maybe tiny bit, but not much really. Like ADA is lower. You can even look at the layer ones. Atom is a little bit higher. Luna not really moved. It's actually against Bitcoin, and this is the important part. The USD pair not so important. Against Bitcoin, it's actually down since Bitcoin's bottomed, and almost all of them are not doing too well against Bitcoin. So it's not a bad sign right now. I think we're on the altcoin front, we're fine. Bitcoin obviously looks like shit, and that's fair. That's a fair criticism. And if you're not in it, and you're trying to chase it, really tough to make it. Because the thing is, if I didn't buy 33K or like close to it anyway, where do I buy? Because I definitely wouldn't want to buy at 38K. I could see myself buy, if I missed out the bottom at 33, could see myself buy 36. That's like the only place I could see myself buy. And I honestly, if this is bullish, I would prefer if we didn't go there. And the target is only like up here, right? So if you buy here and your stop loss is down at 33K, that's like somewhat of an okay trade still, but I would never take it. It's too risky for me. Much less risky at support at 33, in my opinion anyway. But yeah, if you're looking for a trade idea right now on Bitcoin, other than the 36K support that you might be bidding, and then if it goes there, might bounce and then completely fuck you over, there's nothing really for me to look at. Hey Don, did you see the latest Arthur's blog, Bottomless, where he's arguing for wanting to see Bitcoin at 28K and ETH at 1.7K as bottom signs? I think Arthur has been analyzing great stuff, and his articles are really good. I do recommend reading them. For like bottom calls, whatever, I don't know, like 28K. Depends on how we get there. I would not want to be buying 28K though. Like it could be the bottom for all I care, but if we go to 28K, I'm gonna be the scared cat that buys at like 34-ish. If you break the range, I'm in no rush to fade that, right? Because that would be a break of the range. Range is 30 to 60K. If you go below 30, you start getting into trouble. And I would not want to be betting on that number. If anything, 28K gives, I think we go to like 25. Like if you want to be betting, maybe 25 to 23 is like the bet to take. Depending on how we get there, obviously. So yeah. I still hold Sol. What price do you think is a good place to offload? That is impossible to say for me, because I mean, there's a reason why I would not want to be trading this. Like I'm not here telling you to short it, right? because there's no setup to be had. So for me to tell you, okay, where is like a good place to sell, I have no idea where it's gonna go. If you get 134, 135, that's decent technical resistance. Like this area, this entire area, I think is a decent, somewhere there is a decent sell. And then if it goes back up, it's more bullish, more often than not. But right now, like what to do right now, it's impossible to say. It could go back to $50 support, which would be like like a 50% haircut. Or it could go to 140, and that's a little bit of a gain. But the reason why you want to be selling when the technicals break is because you don't want to be in this situation in the first place. When we broke $170, that is where Sol was in trouble, right? Because it was basically an up-only market, and that's the first time it broke a significant support structure at all. And that's a bad sign. And now we're way below there, and it's really hard to call where it's gonna go. Bought your XTC or XRP during the dip or still too high? I bought Atom instead. I'm still looking for XTC, and XRP I'm not entirely sure what to do with. With this, I'm not really in a rush right now, given I bought other altcoins. I actually still like this though. Every time I look at it, I want to buy it, but I haven't been rushing it. But I'll look into this again. I still like it, but a little bit dangerous on that front. But I think altcoins in general are dangerous. That's why I'm not buying everything. And XRP just looks complete trash. I want to see this get closer to, it's at support right now, but I want to see this get closer to the ruling basically. And if I'm missing the bottom on this, I'm missing the bottom. That's fine, is what it is. But yeah, I don't really like the altcoins too much right now, which is weird. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like if Bitcoin breaks 30K, you're gonna see massive down days, like for 50% on Bitcoin pairs. So like that would be a bad place to hold. And if Bitcoin goes up, I could see it, like if it squeezes, I think there's some more time where altcoins don't catch up, and then they're gonna catch up into that resistance. So I could still rotate at that point. But I think in general, Bitcoin's already pretty risky in the macro situation that we're in. So the altcoins feel even more so. So I don't mind being chill on that front. I'm not in a rush at all. S&P dumping, yeah, probably something that's been said. I'm gonna have to look at what's been said after the stream. So far, it's been pretty. I mean, it's been a little bit volatile, right? I actually drew it pretty nicely. It just didn't take out the high, but it's basically like this. But yeah, I expected more actually. This is surprisingly tame so far anyway. What was the trigger to get on board on Bitcoin? Lower time frame view, higher time frame supports being hit, and then other stuff that is exchange based that you can kind of try to figure out on your own. I don't know if you're going to, but I'm not gonna share. Bitboy shilling XRP invalidates all bull setups on it. That is a true valid criticism actually. I can't say anything about that one. Just got out of my Bitcoin long. I opened up last week at break even, was DCA with perps and got away with it. Yeah, this is one of the worst things you can do. Count your blessings, but if you ever do that again, feel like I'm hitting you with like a stick or something, because it's one of the worst trading mistakes you can make. If you're DCAing a trade, let it to die. Okay, I think it's back now. Let me know if it's working. I don't know why, but OBS just died. It's not even my internet, it's just OBS died. Very, very weird. Yeah, thanks. Sorry for that. I know I've never had problems with OBS actually. That is a weird thing to happen. He's back. Maybe he didn't sell. No, I didn't sell in the few seconds that I was gone. I can't get on Discord. Yeah, Discord's been weird today, and a bunch of other stuff's been weird as well. What a market, my friends. What a market. Wild times we're living in. And macro is so uncertain that there's going to be even more volatility and weirdness in pretty much any market, I feel like. But I'm looking forward to it. Get a little bit of panic or get a little bit of euphoria. Always going to be fun to trade. Hi Dawn, I have a shitload of Sol and ETH from big NFT sales. Would you offload here or just hope the range theory plays out this year and sit on my hands until 4K ETH? If you don't want to reinvest it in NFTs, which is fair game, I probably wouldn't want to be buying much more either. I've just been basically rolling my stack left and right. I haven't added to it. Then it depends on your outlook, right? If you think Bitcoin is bullish, but it's just gonna be a while, why not convert that money into BTC? Because I mean, you're not gonna do. You might be missing out on money that you could make, but you're not gonna do like a big mistake on that front, right? Because Bitcoin's gonna stick around if you're bullish on it, right? If you're not bullish on Bitcoin, probably doesn't really make much sense. But yeah, rotating it into like something safer works, I think. And if that's not to your liking, I've never said anything against taking profits. It's a little bit late for that, I feel like, because we're basically at higher time frame support. But you're not going to hear me say, don't do it. You can sell partials, you can do whatever. But yeah, the reason why I'm selling higher, and this is, I hate to say this because it's not really helpful to you guys, but the reason why I sell at resistance is that I don't have to make tough choices at support, right? Because if this rolls over, there's a good chance that you're going to lose a shitload of your balance. And that's just how it is. That's why I sell at resistance, or try to anyway. Sometimes it doesn't work and then I have to make tough choices, but there's no real good advice at support when you're in pain, right? You try to be not in pain when it gets to support, and if you don't do that, you're kind of shit out of luck. And no one can really help you there because it depends on your outlook of the market. Hey Don, just wanted to say I appreciate you, mate. People take your content for granted and it's absolutely top tier. Been following you since 17, you're a ledge. Cheers. Appreciate that, man. Really nice message. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I actually like having a smaller-ish audience because keeps the idiots away, right? Most of you guys are all right with me. Good questions, good interactions, and good vibes. I don't mind that too much. If it gets larger and larger, you get more and more idiots. It's kind of like my Twitter page, right? It's less fun to be on Twitter than to stream, just based on the fact that the larger you get, the more idiots you have. So kind of glad to have you guys around. Always nice. Kind of makes my faith in crypto come back a little every time. Because when I'm on Twitter, I for sure lose it. You watching up only? After the stream, yeah. I don't need to watch stuff live. I don't mind. I like to be able to speed it up. So I mean, I don't mind people not coming live on my stream as well and then watching it on 1.25 or 1.5 speed because that's what I do as well. But yeah. Actually, if you wanna do me a favor, you can still like the video. That's always appreciated. Not that I don't even know how it works, if it does anything, but it's always nice to see it be high. If we're always wrong, should we start fading ourselves? I mean, I've seen people trade like that. They just fade their instincts. And I've seen people be successful with it from time to time anyway. How much Bitcoin do you get per stream? Not enough, my friend, not enough. I don't know, I like streaming. I could see myself, like, even if I didn't get into crypto at all, like stream games and stuff. So it's more of a hobby than anything else. But nah, it's enough. I'm more than happy with what I'm getting. Don't harass FTX to give me more. It's more than enough. Please don't leave us, Don. Keep doing the good work. I'm not kind of looking to leave anytime soon. At least not this year, I think. We'll see about the future. But yeah, low time frame still going wild. Nothing really there. I told you my view on the daily, weekly, and monthly, so you can kind of use that. With regards to the altcoins, I might be boomering again. And I mean, there's people that have been more accurate on the altcoin front than I have. So if you really wanna have like expert opinion on it, I'm probably not the guy to ask anymore, because my edge is clearly in Bitcoin and ETH trading. But right now I'm not too excited, so I'm just sticking to the strong ones, not diving too deep and then just spending my time. Like if I want to scratch the trading itch, I'm just in NFT land scratching the itch, right? I'm not in coin land. Then again, every cent that you put into the NFT space, you should regard as lost, because liquidity there can become close to zero relatively fast, and then your entire money is gone. So there's high upside, high downside there, and a lot of volatility. So I'm not saying you should definitely get into the space. It's just where I've been spending my time. So yeah, that's that. I want to thank you for coming by. Always appreciate it. Also, thanks for FTX for sponsoring the show. Appreciate their support as well, and their links are in the description. You should check them out. And now I wanna check what's been said or what's being said on the meeting. So I'm gonna head off and kind of make up my mind whether it's bullish or bearish or has no impact at all. So yeah, we'll see each other probably on Friday. I'm not entirely sure, but if not on Friday, on Monday anyway, and I'll be around on Twitter. So yeah, see you guys and have a nice evening or day, depending on where you're at. Bye bye.